As you can tell, I'm trying to ignore you because it's true. It's like And we're back for another episode of the Rurouni Kenshin Anime. I am your host, the Game Hunter, with the co-host Spirit Magic Helmet.
Hi. How is everybody today?
Apparently nobody responded, or unless they did. If they responded on the YouTube side, yes, I'm calling you guys out. The 237 viewers, one Brazilian.
It's a jubilant day today. Can you say jubilant? I knew you could.
What is this? Sesame Street? I couldn't be that, I mean, I don't know how much they pay them for that, but, you know.
Jubilant is a big word.
I get Sesame Street's for little kids, but my goodness.
Do you know what jubilant means?
Sure.
It means feeling or expressing great happiness and triumph. Oh, but triumph is a big word too. Do you know what triumph means?
To win.
Triumph means motorcycles for the ride. Triumph logo. Triumph 900 range. Latest offers. Triumph new 250cc.
I almost wish you had referred to the dog puppet in the Conan O'Brien show.
About to change. We're all in, so you can go all out. It also means a victory or conquest by or as if by military force.
I'm getting a lot of Reddit emails recently. Oh, we doing a podcast?
You're so bored with me, you're checking your email?
Looking for you, I had nothing in my email other than Joe Mail.
Well, why would anybody email you?
And that is the end of the podcast. That's actually the end of the podcast forever. I won't be speaking to that man ever again. We are cutting ties. If we come back, it will be the Game Hunter Night Show, and I will run this show into the ground.
It's not that far away.
If you feel bad for saying that. But okay, we're here to talk about episode 11.
It's just skimming the ground as it is.
Ouch. I hate that it's where my commentary is truly gone. Episode 11, Tanya and Honorable Chikijo. As episode,
we should try to agree on how to pronounce that guy's name. Chikijo.
I see Chikijo.
Chikijo. Okay.
That's how. I mean, I'm pronouncing it in the 3 syllables. I'm pretty sure that's not how his name is probably spelled.
Chikijo or Shikijo?
I say Shikijo. I don't think it really matters. The guy is like a one-note character by the end of it all.
Oh my gosh, you just offended so many Japanese people.
Anya was Japanese.
Shikijo though. Like, or Shikijo, and you're like, I don't think it matters. Okay, Game Hunter.
This is never talk to me and my son again. No, I don't have a son. That's just a joke. All right.
He has a son. He's kind of deadbeat about it.
Okay, so this episode is essentially, I wouldn't call it an all-out brawl, but it was showcasing 2 fights. Last episode we were fighting about if Kenshin was gonna get involved with Hanya. To my surprise, he did. I was actually kind of weirded out by that, but I guess maybe they didn't want Yahiko getting involved yet. I thought it was kind of weird they brought Yahiko in here, and like I was like, I don't remember him being involved so early. Yes, episode 11 is still so early. I wonder why he's there. Maybe he's there to get Megumi. He brought him with him to the final area. But by the way, there were only 3 rooms. That was shocking as well. I don't know how you felt about that. It was the entrance, the middle room, and then the final room.
I don't know. We knew they had 3 people, so how many rooms are they gonna guard?
I thought there would have been one more beyond, ball and chain, dude. At least.
Well, if the title of the next episode is Ankashira and Aoshi, so if Ankashira is the name of another character, then they do have one more. They have 3 people guarding, and then the last step.
But no, Kenshin's in the room with Ayoshi.
Yeah, I'm just commenting that they have. I don't know what does Ankashira mean for the title of episode 12.
I don't know. Possible that maybe the group that this guy leads was initially named that.
Or it's some sort of technique or something.
His full name is actually on the title. Ayoshi Shinomura.
I'm just commenting. Episode 11, it says Savage Hanya and Honorable Shikicho. But then the next one has the same format. There's a name, dash, a name. So if that first one is a name, then it follows the same format as episode 11 with 2 names separated by a dash.
Oh, okay. That's simple.
If that's what it is, if you think there's a third character, but I thought he mentioned having a left-hand man and a right-hand man guarding, and then he would be the final line of defense. So I thought there were 3, but if there's 4, then the 4th one is.
It just means head.
Ankashira means head.
Yeah.
That tells us nothing.
No, it tells us everything. He's the
top.
He's the top of the. He's the top of the group. He's the leader. Head is just another formality.
He's the main man. If Hanya and Shijiko were the left and right testicles, he's the head. I got you.
Okay, we come back to the episode with apparently Kenshin deciding to get his hands dirty.
I told you I wasn't like 6.
No, he would have done another ball joke. Okay, moving on. Lost my train of thought.
You were about to start talking about the episode.
Kenshin, pretty much we were fighting over if Kenshin was going to get involved with Hanya. You were shocked that Hanya was here. Apparently he does get involved with this fight. We get a little bit of backstory on Hanya. Apparently he grew up in a poor village, and this village apparently was so poor that they killed their children, and they apparently called the ritual the returning of the children. I'm like, I don't even know, like, is there, like, do you have any, like, you say you didn't have any, you didn't really have too many historical facts.
I didn't look up the historical significance about this because I thought it was kind of common knowledge. Like, I've heard about that practice many times. So I thought it was too common knowledge to, like, try to get into, like, a historical background about it, but I do know that was true.
It actually happened?
Yeah.
I mean, I was aware of the one child law in China, but that's about it that I knew about in Asian culture. I know the problems that law caused. Thankfully, it's gone now, but didn't realize that there was child murder in Japan.
This is my understanding. I mean, I didn't look it up to verify it, but I heard this enough times where I didn't look it up to see if there was anything special about it.
I'm gonna muddy my search history. Looking this up, I really hope this doesn't, like, cause the FBI to be knocking on my door at some point. I literally was typing that word in. You won't believe one of the search results. Question was, like, is it possible to return a child? That is kind of dark.
Was it called Return Children or Returning of the Children or what?
You mean the episode?
No, what they were talking about.
No, that was just when you type into Google and it gives you a list of suggestions.
It became prevalent during the feudal Edo era, 1603 to 1868, as a means of population control. Farmers killed their second or third sons upon birth in what was called Maccabi, an agricultural term that originally meant thinning out. According to the New York Times.
You know, I was hoping that wasn't true. It's like, I'm laughing, and I'm only because I'm laughing as a defense mechanism.
Usually, daughters were spared because they could be married off, sold as servants or prostitutes, or sent off to become geisha or professional entertainers. But in northern Japan alone, between 60,000 and 70,000 cases of Maccabi were recorded each year.
It's funny that they could be sold out to be geisha, considering that I know a good portion of geisha at some point were men.
In the later third of the 19th century, it was prohibited by law. But after the devastation of World War II, it reappeared, hitting a peak in 1948 when 399 cases were recorded, then decreasing to its lowest point in 1958, where 114 cases were recorded. It then began to rise off and is leveled at 175 cases a year.
It had a spike in 1940?
Well, relative spike for then, 1948, when 399 cases were recorded.
Okay,
But during the Edo era, which is when this story takes place, it was 60,000 to 70,000 cases a year.
I only said that because of...
And that's in northern Japan alone.
I'm trying to figure out like when the one-child policy was implemented in China. Apparently that was like your late 70s, early 80s. Okay, well then... I guess I'm just gonna ask this question and move on. What was wrong with Asia? Okay, but I can move on from that statement. But
I wasn't touching. What is wrong with Asia is what you said, sir.
Yeah, I know that's what I said. I know what I said. I'm just like...
You see, here's the thing. I say questionable things, and I probably say 10 questionable things for every one you say, but when you say one, it's like worth all 10 of mine.
I don't know if it's questionable. It's just more like I hear. I guess my thing is like
What is wrong with Asia?
Why I typically try to be understanding of Eastern culture to an extent. Eastern culture sometimes confuses me with some things I find out. I mean, I guess like another thing that confuses me, and it's like, I understand that Japan looks, at least Japanese, they view things differently than, like, Eastern world views things differently than the Western world it does. And part of the Eastern world, some people usually refer to is the Japanese of Japan, even though for whatever reason they're not the biggest body of land, like over there in the East world. It's actually China. Well, for whatever reason, most people refer to the Eastern world, they kind of think about the Japanese a little bit. But it's like, you know, Japan has entire they have an entire forest. They call it a suicide forest, and people go in there and hang themselves. So I actually learned something recently. It's not that they condone that; it just happens for some strange reason, and they've tried to like quarantine it off, and it just doesn't seem to help. Apparently, they don't condone that forest. It's just that it's just what it is now.
So basically, people are dying to get in there.
If only I had like a soundboard. Wait. Repeat that again.
I said basically people are dying to get in there.
Okay. But yeah, it's just one of the things that like it's not that I have a problem with it. I just don't understand. Meanwhile, I'm fanboying over anime because like they produce some of the most fun animation, which we're doing right now. So full circle. It's just I don't know. I mean, I didn't know they did that, and I mean I was aware of the one-child policy in China. That was like inhumane, but I mean they had to control their population. They couldn't just stop having sex, stop having unprotected sex or something. Apparently they were just popping out that many children they had to cull it. Which is really what that is, it's a culling, but with that, we learned that much about Hanya. We learned that, he got a place amongst Ayoshi's, ranks. Again, showing that Ayoshi seems to be sympathetic to certain people, apparently. And his sympathy, it's different depending on the person. We'll get to that second person here in a minute, but
Kenshin, he had sympathy for Megumi too.
Yeah, sure. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, it depends on the person, how much sympathy he has. But essentially, Hanya fights Kenshin, and apparently learned that he was using a spell, which I guess is really an illusion.
As well as iron gauntlets under his leather gloves.
That apparently turned into Wolverine claws as well.
Yeah, apparently they got a lot of stuff going on.
They get into a fight.
He's a melee fighter, and he's not really a fighter as his biggest specialty so much as a spy.
But he's still a competent fighter. I mean, I never. It's kind of a stretch to use illusions in a fight, but I mean, hey, it's the anime world, so I guess you can do what you want. Did not know that his character design actually was a part of his fighting style.
Yeah. I liked Kenshin's counter for it though, holding a sword in front of him.
I guess it makes sense when the illusion is you can't tell how long someone's arm is.
Yeah, and he used it as like a measuring stick. I thought that was a really cool way to counter the spell.
I guess also what's weird too is that
because it looks like a bluff. It looks like you put him on the defensive, but really he was just being really pragmatic about it.
Yeah, that's true. I guess also another weird thing behind is that, like, Kenshin thought that he was using a mask to hide his facial expression so he couldn't tell a fan or whatever, but Hanya was just like hiding his face. I have expected, and I'm not gonna be honest, I have expected like me Hanya was gonna be like a pretty boy underneath that mask. I was shocked to find out he wasn't.
I didn't know what was going to be under the mask or if we were even going to get a chance to see it, but that was pretty disturbing, and it showed what a fanatic he was. Aoshi seems to have some really fanatical followers, which is pretty intense for him.
I mean, it's like
burning off your lips and stuff like that, so that people can't identify you. It doesn't make sense to me though, because like, wouldn't he just be the guy with burned off lips? It's not like there's a whole bunch of them.
No, he mentions that when he goes undercover, he's able to take on faces and stuff like that. I mean, like really, like not many people probably realize this, but in the spy world is what he's a part of. It is common for I actually saw, I think it was a Netflix documentary or something like that, like about drugs, but they apparently had a cop who was like a plant in China of all places. I think it was Hong Kong, trying to counter the drug bust there. This man like lived in an apartment pretty much in downtown, maybe even Shanghai. I don't think it was Shanghai, but it was a hustling and bustling area. But he lived in a place and he had different disguises, and like they were actually really convincing. I mean, he didn't burn off his lips or stuff like that. So I mean, that's
I don't know how that improves your ability to have a disguise though.
Fake skin.
Okay, but you can't put it over your regular skin.
Listen, you said he was a fanatic.
One of his eyes was like mutilated too. Like people are gonna notice that you don't have an eyeball on one side.
I mean, not really. I mean, depending on how the this is also an anime too, so some, some like, it's gotta be some room for disbelief, or belief, whatever. I was like,
Suspension of belief.
yeah, suspension of belief, but it's like, like he could probably, maybe, I don't know how true this is. Maybe he's got like special facial like composition where he can mold his face after he did that to his face. Um, I gotta say, by the way, based on the way it looks too, like the skin that he has like would be very sensitive to cold, I would think, or just anything in general, because like your nerves wouldn't be protected. Like half the point of our skin is to protect our nerves because they're sensitive to just about everything.
Right.
So
It just doesn't make sense. It just seems like a nonsensical thing to try to do.
I mean, spies are kind of nonsense. At least the spies we see in movies. Half the stuff that they do isn't really what real spies do. I mean, hey, at least the ones that we're well aware of. I mean, there's an FBI for a reason, but who
I
knows?
didn't find it very impressive.
I think it wasn't really to be depressive. It was just mostly to be disturbing.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
I think the whole idea is just showing how far he'd go for a person that saved him. I mean, he said that he survived narrowly, but you don't survive. You continue to run because they're still trying to kill you, which that is also insane. Like, wait, so if you survive the first blaze of fire in your house, like they'll still chase you down to know you're still alive? That is insane. You just don't have a home apparently. But yeah, like Kenshin pretty much like throws his spell and then knocks him out. He's just on the floor. And then Kenshin and Sanosuke and Yahiko proceed to the next room, where we have Shikijo, a man with a giant iron ball.
You're just gonna make that long silence and expect me not to say something. Huh?
You have the floor.
You got an iron ball and an iron fist. That's all I know for sure.
And whatever, he tries to toss the iron ball to hit Kenshin, but actually I should bring up, Kenshin also takes a couple of battle injuries in the previous fight, but apparently they're not deep. Apparently after he got cut, he stopped bleeding almost immediately, which I guess is cool. It means he still got injuries that are gonna probably affect his fight later on, but it is what it is. Illusion, subterfuge, pick a card, any card.
Jesus, you're getting a little poetic there, aren't you?
I also was kind of doing this like moving my hands in front of my face in circles, but nobody could see this, so I was like, I don't know why I'm doing this.
That's really great.
Okay, so we move to the next room. Yeah, I just moved on.
Okay, so we're moving on.
Just moved on. Now it's Shikijo, and we have another fanatic. But his fanatic story is a little bit different. Apparently, he got his butt kicked by a 13-year-old. That 13-year-old apparently is the guy he's following now. And the 13-year-old offered him drugs.
That's a good way to feel fairly impressed by somebody, isn't it?
I mean, I guess, but it's just one of those. It's like most people probably get upset and try to get better and try to best that kid. He got beat by him, and the kid offered him drugs. Or an elixir. I mean, whatever you want to call it. It's still drugs, but
Oh, is that what that?
I mean, that's what people are saying in the chat.
That didn't even cross my mind that might be what's going on there.
I mean, in the chat here, it's like, hold up, we still can find it. Here it is. Bro, I got these supplements you need to try, bro. That was one of the comments. And another comment is natty over juice. That mustard lisker must be steroids. Being as big as he is, Shikijo's balls must be tiny.
Oh my gosh.
I was reading the comments that are off of here.
The comments on Crunchyroll?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. No, I didn't jump into those. I never even thought to jump into those.
Yeah, I just only because like I only saw this before we started going live, and I was like, you know what? Didn't cross my mind either that it might be steroids or something like that, but it makes sense.
No,
Like
steroids don't really make sense to me though.
he got big really quick though, man. I mean, I don't know how much. I mean, the kid, at least she was 13. I think he
Oh, I
must be
see.
21
Like, kind of
now.
like a long-term steroid kind of deal. Yeah, that makes more sense.
He's still really strong regardless. I think most of that is just his natural strength, like multiplied by however.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just being, I'm just being contrarian here. I mean, he's a fanatic in his own way too, because like you know he was looking for a place to be. Like apparently this Oniwa group is like Oniwa group is actually like a home for like outcasts, is what we're learning here. At least from these two people, you know, they had a you know when they were nobodies, they were treated horribly, but you know when they recognized, they were given a spot where you know where it mattered. So like pretty much Sonosuke jumps into this one and tells Kenshin to go, and you know there's no point in you fighting him because we don't need you worn down for the big guy, you know, for the big boss. And Kenshin does a ninja jump onto the stairwell past Shinju Muscle Man, and he just looks at him and smiling, and then he gets away. Sonosuke then, you know, says that you were planning to let him go anyway, weren't you? And he confirms that yes, he was. He was trying to like, you know, whittle down the group that was going towards, you know, the big boss, and they have their fight. As Kenshin crosses the door to the next room over, and I was saying this as I was watching this fight happen, and I was like, not entirely sure. You haven't said anything about it yet, but I guess I'm about to open up the floodgate here.
Okay.
How do you feel about like the amount of blood that Shinosuke was losing from the headbutts?
Seems typical. Is that the wrong thing to say?
I was expecting you to be more upset by it. I don't know, cause like you had an issue with like another one of the fights that Kenshin was a part of. I thought maybe you have a problem here, but okay, maybe I guess you didn't. Okay, then I guess I was over analyzing.
No. I think it's BS, but like it's very typical BS at this point. I mean, it's exactly the kind of thing that we've seen happening already. So like, I wasn't blown away by it. I was just like, yeah, that's just about tracks.
But what I also want to I guess you draw attention to is that during the fight they had their conversation. Back when Sonosuke first got introduced all those like, episodes ago, I was curious because there was something bothering me. So I liked this character a lot. I remember there's something I liked about his character. I did a little bit of like looking into it. I found out what it was that was bothering me. Here it kind of goes into a little bit of it, not really revealing a lot, and I'm not gonna do any either. But they bring up that you know this guy says that you know Sonosuke should join them, and you could get like infinitely stronger than me or Bishimi, which I mean it's obvious. But what I find interesting is that he goes out of his way to tell him that like you could get infinitely stronger than you are right now. That's an interesting thing to say to Sonosuke after you bludgeon him nearly to death, but still, I think it's kind of interesting to kind of reveal that he can get stronger than he is right this minute, which is I find interesting that they go out of the way to say that, even though he bludgeons him with his head. I also want to point out, did it come out to you that Shigejo might have been like a wrestler or a grappler? Because I mean, the guy did a German suplex on him.
Yeah, he seemed like he just chose a kind of a cocky way to fight him, honestly.
Really, also had scars over his body that healed. Apparently, that was also crazy. But yeah, I mean, it's another guy, as you say, a fanatic that really to him owed a lot to Shinomori. So much so that they would like do anything for the guy. And pretty much Sonosuke pretty much two hits him. It like sends him over the banister with one punch, and then jumps in the air and then sends him down to the ground with the other punch. just knocks him out flat. It's like, yep, that was expected, and then he faints from blood loss. I think
Yeah,
it's
so
blood loss.
they kind of just barely not a tie. I mean, I guess he kind of won, but like it's sort of a tie,
Oh,
isn't
he
it?
won. I mean, I mean, like, the thing is, like, the only reason he's on the ground, Sanosuke's on the ground, is just because, like, he got caught off guard a little bit by how strong this guy was. But he also brings up too, is like how many more of these guys of this strength is gonna be like coming here, because my body's gonna run out.
Right, and then it does.
Don't need to know that.
Just saying.
But yeah, it's one of those things. You know, it's like these guys are obviously not your typical run of the mook, but they are still the mook, kind of. After all that's taken care of, we go back to Kenshin and Yahiko, who I didn't say this, and I'm probably gonna bring it now. Yahiko, up to this point, after the Iron Ball was thrown at Kenshin, Yahiko was in Kenshin's like right arm as he was jumping over the stairs into the next floor. They just find it interesting that we come back and Kenshin is still. Well, actually, no, Yahiko's standing on his own 2 feet, isn't he? We come back to him. At some point, he was carrying him like a sack of potatoes. And Yahiko wasn't even like complaining about it. I know that's stupid, but it's like, I feel like what we know about Yahiko's character, you'd think at some point he would complain in the kitchen, but hey, let me dance.
I think he was too distracted by everything that was going on, but you're absolutely right.
It's not like a complaint. It's more of a nitpick. But it's just like, I was looking at him the entire time. I was like, when is he gonna like yell at Kenshin to let him go?
Which would be totally on brand for him to do.
What apparently he was like, they were fine, and he was on his own 2 feet. So at some point during the ruckus that Sanosuke was a part of, he apparently put him on his own 2 feet. I guess another thing too is that Yahiko, when you're running to the next floor, Yahiko brings up to Kenshin that, are you sure Sanosuke can do that by himself? And then Kenshin, shows that he has faith in him, even though they don't really know each other. They haven't known each other for more than maybe a week at this point, maybe 2. So I mean, that's some serious trust he's got.
Yeah, he seems very inspired by Kenshin. As do a lot of characters at this point, I think.
Speaking of inspiration, yeah, they kind of like showed that, like, even though Shinomori is kind of like a god to them, Kenshin is like somebody that they all believe in, that Kenshin never raises his sword for his own fights. It's always in service of somebody else, which I guess was kind of cool that Sanosuke was able to pick that up from him, even though they didn't know each other all that long, which is really cool. And it gives Sanosuke the will to fight and best this guy. Even though, again, at this point when he bested him, the guy has slammed his head into his forehead at least 4 times.
What a bro.
With the amount of blood that was on the floor.
Quite a bit of blood.
I also guess like Sanosuke's strength is ridiculous, because I mean, the guy crushed both his arms.
The guy thought like the first headbutt was going to be a kill shot, and
but they don't know him. They've never seen him fight. You just know that he's Sansa.
But that's why I said, like, when you said, what did you think about like how many headshots he got and how like he was beaten to the ground and stuff? My feeling about it was more like, well, that tracks. Like that's exactly what he's known for. He's like being able to take an unreasonable amount of damage, and we've seen him do it so many more times than just that one. So I wasn't very surprised to see him do even more damage. Do you know what I mean? Like, to take even more damage directly, like that just seems to be on brand for him. That's what he does.
Hey Vegeta, you should learn from him so you don't get your knee shot when you get kicked by a girl droid. Sorry.
Did you say droid?
Girl android, cyborg.
Like, are we talking about like 18 right now?
Yes, we're just gonna move on. It's so much in the past, though. I mean, I hope that people already know this though, but probably Akira just does not like Vegeta. Just flat out didn't like him, which is why Vegeta got like boned so many times throughout the freaking show. Just did not like him. You could just tell how many times he put Vegeta in a wheelchair. Makes you wonder why he even kept on drawing. Oh, well, I mean, no, I know why. I mean, Vegeta was popular, but still. And with that,
he must have come around to him a little bit though, because Vegeta like is pretty close to on par with Goku now.
Well, yeah, I mean, apparently, according to like Goku and Vegeta are the same level of power now. The only thing that's going on right now that I'm aware of is the Ultra Instinct stuff in Vegeta's little, press. Apparently, I guess I must have overlooked this before we move on back to Kenshin and I guess in the talk of the episode. But apparently I must have knew this and completely forgot. But when I was reading something about Vegeta, it mentions that Whis brings up that Vegeta can't do Ultra Instinct. Like he flat out can't achieve it.
Vegeta can't?
Yeah, he just like Vegeta apparently flat out can't achieve it because he thinks too much. And I think it must have been stated at some point like that Vegeta will never be able to because he just thinks too much. Maybe it was said and it was maybe not translated well or something like that. I do remember at least talking to Vegeta like, the only way he could achieve it is he would start thinking. And it's like, oh, you know what? It was in the manga that they confirmed it. Yeah, Vegeta tried and he couldn't. And no matter like he just thinks Vegeta literally just say he can't do it. He thinks too much. He's very tactical about what he thinks way too much before he moves. Like he needs to be able to think of a plan. Like he's a thinker, a plotter, and stuff like that. Which I mean, is tracking with his character. So it makes sense that this would be a situation he can't. But I was reading apparently he can achieve it. So I guess Vegeta gave up. But I guess that's what leads him down the road that he does go down. But yeah, I thought that was interesting too. It was like, huh, that's strange. Well, I guess that makes sense. Which I guess explains the really random power level, the power transformations that happen in Dragon Ball Late. I guess another thing too. I guess maybe we all knew this, or maybe if we didn't believe it. Ultra Instinct is something that everybody can achieve. Apparently, I mean, I guess it makes sense because it's just a state of mind. But everybody apparently, except for Vegeta, obtained this Ultra Instinct.
Yamcha's gonna be the next one with Ultra Instinct.
There's been animations about him achieving Ultra Instinct. I think. I know there's been a lot of jokes about him actually achieving it. But the next character, realistically, I would really like to see achieve it if it was a possibility, would be Krillin. Realistically speaking, I think Krillin could because he got the same training from Master Roshi that Goku did.
It seems more like something that Tien would do.
Like
if I had to pick one of the little, because Tien is the one that goes all out, doesn't think things through, but is still smart and has the potential to do it. Was picked by Master Roshi as the one that would be the guardian of the Earth someday.
I thought he picked Krillin.
No, in Dragon Ball, not Dragon Ball Z, he picked Tien out. He said you're gonna be the guardian of the Earth someday. It's up to you.
And we always go into this whole debate, but is freaking Tien human? Because if he is, Krillin's stronger than him.
Tien is technically considered human. He's of a tribe of humans that have 3 eyes.
Well, I mean, with that said, canonically speaking, it's been said that, I guess we can't take much stock in Yamcha. I feel bad for him, but according to Yamcha, and I feel no, Tien even said it too, I think, that Krillin was the strongest human.
Who did, Yamcha?
Yamcha mentions this during the Buu Saga, when Krillin's in a tournament, and then his daughter is Krillin's daughter is kind of concerned because Krillin's about to fight this big, blubbering dude, this weak guy. And she was worried because of his size, and then Yamcha just comes out of nowhere. Really no prodding either, just like, don't worry, your father's like the strongest human on Earth. He specifies human, but he's the strongest human on Earth. And I feel like even Tien confirms this at some point too. I'm not sure where or when Tien says this.
That who? Krillin is the strongest human on Earth?
Yeah.
I remember that too. He could be the strongest human on Earth.
I know we had this conversation.
Tien is kind of close, but I think it's not impossible that he's the strongest.
I mean, ultimately, I guess Tien, I don't know. Tien kind of thinks too much too, in my opinion. I mean, he's come up with different techniques and stuff like that have varying uses. I feel like he would have to really think about how a certain attack would, at least for him, how a certain attack would help you in the flow of a fight. But I'm guessing Tien could probably knock himself nearly dead, because it seems like that's what you need to do before you can achieve Ultra Instinct. And that Neo Tri-Beam can nearly kill you.
He uses the Tri-Beam a lot.
I mean, that move can nearly kill you. So, I mean, if he needed to try to see if to force him into Ultra Instinct, he could. I mean, he has the technique for it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think Krillin. The thing is, I guess for me, Krillin would be kind of cool because I think Krillin needs a power up, and desperately. I mean, and I'm not saying. I mean, it's not even like his performance in the Tournament of Power was bad. It's just that Krillin's been left behind so much recently. I mean, not as bad as Yamcha. Rest his soul, never being chosen for the Tournament of Power. Him literally aging to an old man in that chair when he was left behind. But Krillin's kind of been left behind and everything like that. And it's not like Krillin cares, but it'd be really kind of cool because I know Master Roshi during the Super thing when he's doing training, he tells Krillin that he needs to let go. He needs to be more confident, so let go and just I guess go with the flow of the fight. It almost seemed like Master Roshi was hinting that Krillin can still get stronger. It's just Krillin is not willing to. The way he's talking to Krillin and telling Krillin how to get stronger, it seems like to me it's and even Krillin had that whole aura around his body at that point too. I don't even know what that was about. It was one of the weirdest things I've ever seen Krillin do. On top of that, I mean, Krillin isn't the only one that's fought Goku and beat him, but it's still at the same time, it's just, Krillin is his best friend. Krillin's literally got killed twice. I feel like he deserves a win at some point. Well, I mean, he got Android 18, but still, another win wouldn't hurt. And then Tien's is out there training every day and doing his own thing. Apparently dating Launch. That's something that completely caught me off guard.
Krillin was dating Launch?
No, Tien was dating Launch.
Oh. Well, why not?
I just think that she's too crazy for him, considering how straightforward he is. I mean, Dragon Ball Grudge makes fun of that. Tien is very straightforward.
Sex with her is almost a threesome.
What makes you think you would survive having sex with her? I mean, the blue-haired one would probably let you. The yellow-haired one, I don't think so.
Well,
I think she'd kill you when she finds out that you penetrate her.
I feel like Tien would get along better with the yellow-haired one than the blue one.
I mean, I think it's been shown that he does, but it's just, I don't know. Just he seems too crazy for him.
I feel like he'd get kind of annoyed with the blue-haired one.
I mean, the blue-haired one can cook, though. I don't think the yellow-haired one can.
So, do you think Tien really cares about fine dining?
I'm not saying fine dining, just being able to eat good food. I'm not saying you need to have a woman that can cook you a 4-course dinner. I'm just saying be able to make something for you to eat, at the very least.
Maybe he cooks for her. Maybe he's a sensitive new age kind of guy.
There's nothing wrong with that either. I'm just saying that to me, I've just never seen Tien dating anyone, and then the last place they put him in is It's just Launch, and I feel like the only reason why he's dating Launch is because she was the last female character they could have put him with. I legitimately think that's what happened.
Yeah, I guess so.
Because I can't think of any female character introduced that, like, up to that point, that they were like, I feel like that was just the last ditch pairing because they forgot about Launch. And Takira is famous for forgetting about characters.
Just sort of, I don't know how he says forget, but it doesn't mean more like abandon. He just abandons the character more than forgets.
I don't think he abandons her. I feel like maybe he feel like he's done everything he could with the character, and then just shoves them off, thinking people won't care about them. And when he finds out that people are wondering what this character's doing, he makes an excuse or something like that, like he wasn't thinking about them. Which is freaking possible too. I mean, you can mix many characters, and like some characters, you know, provide a certain point in the story, and at that point that they serve their point. Why keep them around? It's just like them just there and filling up empty space and whatever.
Yeah.
Because like Launch was really more of a comedy character anyway, because she was mostly in Dragon Ball. The few times she showed up in Z, she was just there for kind of comedy's sake.
Launch?
Yeah.
More comedy's sake than, like, I don't know, Chi-Chi?
I feel like more comedy's sake than Chi-Chi. I feel like people got annoyed with Chi-Chi. I don't think people I think people just laughed when Launch was on screen. I'm not saying that Chi-Chi didn't have any moments that people laughed. I'm just saying, like, I feel like people probably got more annoyed with Chi-Chi. At least like early days of Z Chi-Chi, people got really annoyed with. When she finally mellowed out, I think she was better for it.
Maybe Tien could have ended up with Marin.
Wasn't she just a filler girlfriend for Krillin?
Yeah, I'm just giving you a hard time.
I'm just trying to figure, like,
I could think of.
The only, actually, I guess let's speak of it before we actually move on back to Rurouni Kenshin. I know you had to have noticed this. It was like, do you think it's weird that Krillin named his daughter after one of his ex-girlfriends?
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to be sure. I kept on seeing it sometimes on the internet. Every now and then I come across this question. It's like, I mean, let's notice that Krillin named his daughter after an ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, I didn't get that either. It kind of threw me off. It didn't seem like it's fit either. I wasn't like, yeah, that tracks. I was like,
I mean, that's kind of like, I don't think she exists. Like, because that's the only thing that would explain it.
Is Marin's still alive too? Imagine if they like bumped into her or something.
Well, I'm trying to figure out, because like,
maybe Marin and Roshi can end up together.
Because it was even weirder. When I look at Marin, the girl that he dated, she looks just like a more sexualized version of Bulma. When you really look at her.
Well, that was the joke, that she would call Bulma an old lady and stuff like that. Bulma would get really mad.
Like, is she like, does she really exist, or? That's the weird thing. It's just, oh, she was in the Girl Junior saga? Wait, she appeared in the Android saga?
What, Marin?
Apparently she shows up in the Android saga looking for Krillin when he goes to fight the androids.
Oh, I don't remember that at all.
There's an image of her and she's upset and she's wearing like a pink dress.
And Krillin's like, bitch, bye.
She's not even there, she's just upset. It's just like, this is interesting. I don't remember. This gets weirder. She does really exist then, and he dated a girl named Marin. I wonder what Android 18 had to say about that. Like, I honestly was there saying, Android 18, I probably wouldn't, she probably wouldn't let him easily name their daughter. Wait a minute, I guess how does he spell Marin? I've really just gone down this whole...
Does it really matter? You don't pick anything close.
It's 2 R's. I know it doesn't really help, but still. What is the question here? Did Krillin really name his daughter after his ex-girlfriend? Maybe Android 18 doesn't know that he dated a girl named Marin in the past. It's possible that Krillin never let that slip. Wait, this is weird. Krillin's daughter being named Marin is not actually a reference to his ex-girlfriend Marin, but rather a continuation of Akira Toriyama's food-based puns naming tradition.
How?
I'm looking. Wait, wow, apparently she was written in there, but then written out after her lack of relevance in the storyline.
Marin?
Yeah, the ex-girlfriend.
Oh, yeah.
I remember seeing this about her name being a pun on food, but I never found, like, what food that she was named after. Like, what pun in Japanese is that?
Chestnut. The food is chestnut.
I guess her being his little chestnut. I still think it's kind of weird.
Krillin's name also means chestnut.
So he really named his daughter after himself?
He's a chestnut, and his daughter's his little chestnut.
I always wondered if Marin was gonna like get involved with fighting. I mean, now I know that she's not, but it's always one of those weird things about like his daughter, considering that like she's like the daughter of two really strong fighters on Earth. But I guess just because you are offspring of somebody doesn't mean you don't get any benefits. Oh well, I guess that I went down that rabbit hole. Fine, stop.
But Marin spelled with one or two R's is both reference to chestnut, so they're both the same thing.
It sounds like they're saying that apparently it might sound different in Japanese. I don't really know. It just sounds the same because of how we pronounce it over here. I know that's usually kind of like, it's the way things are pronounced is different. But okay, with that really weird tangent that went on, I guess we come back. Kenshin's out facing Shinomori, and then Kenshin. I guess I also glossed over this a little bit too. Back when he was fighting Hanya, he had asked Hanya to move over so he could go, rescue Megumi. Hanya says no, and he asked the exact same thing of Shinomori, and then Shinomori just goes like, "Did Hanya respond to that?" It's like, if you want me to move, you're gonna have to respond with your sword, and then it permanently shows that he has a really long blade sheathed underneath his coat. My next thought was, and I'm just gonna say this is just a joke, it was like, I'm just saying, like, man, you better watch you show that sword to Shinomori. A girl gonna get the wrong idea. Sorry, I had to.
What did you say?
You didn't hear it, so I'm just gonna move on.
No, I didn't hear it.
No, all it says you better watch you show that sword to Shinomori. You're gonna give a girl a wrong idea.
Oh, yeah. Is that a Shinomori in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me?
Okay. Okay. First, the episode ends with looking at them as we're gonna get into the fight with them. Which I guess it makes sense why they decided to, like, I guess, fly by with these other two fights, because the fight's gonna probably take the longest, I suspect anyway. Like, I mean, the guys talk about Shinomori as this like really good fighter. Apparently, during the Edo period when the war was going on, if Shinomori had been there, they would have been talking about him instead of the battle side. So that's intriguing. Like, I mean, like, he must be really strong for them to make that statement. What else could have been statements of some fanatics? Who knows? But
what do you think about Sanosuke leaving the guy alive?
I mean,
he broke his hands with a strong. He broke his hands and he punched him out, but he left him alive.
I mean, Kenshin left Hanya alive.
Yeah, exactly, though. Like, Sanosuke isn't Kenshin.
I mean, Sanosuke already made it evident that he's following Kenshin. He believes in Kenshin, whatnot. I think him killing would probably go against that, so he'd probably just. I don't think I've ever seen Sanosuke kill anybody.
Not that we know of, no. He just beats him up. We know he beats him up when he walks in that room in one of the previous episodes and says, everybody in this room I've beaten up at least once. Remember with all the hired people?
Yeah, I'm just like, I mean, I just don't think he's got killer blood in his body, but who knows? I mean, again, you look at Kenshin, he's like, that guy's killed somebody? He's like, oh, you don't know the half of it. The ghosts of all the people he's killed is like, don't mess with that man. Like, who the heck are you? We're the ghosts of all the people he's killed in the past. Why is there a line of you? Wait.
It was nice that the show gave him a moment in the sun, too.
I think the show continues to give him, moments in the sun. But it's kind of interesting. Yeah, they had a fight and then he just completely faints. It's like, okay, we're done with him now. We won't see him again, so like he needs to be bandaged. Basically, what that was referring to, that's what I'm taking from it. It's like, yeah, we won't see him again, so he's bandaged. I wonder how Yahiko is gonna where is he gonna watch this fight? Because I can't say for certain that Shinomori is gonna care about casualties in a fight with the Hitakari Batosai. Considering, as you said before, as we were talking about this, that he seemed really interested in fighting him. So, to me, like, to this point, he's shown that he's very capable of keeping his cool and his calm. He doesn't seem like he'd go crazy, but that guy's a swordsman, so he's like a really strong one according to all his team members. So, makes me wonder. Does he got like a sadistic side to him that we haven't seen yet?
I don't know if he has to be sadistic. He might just be really good.
I mean, all I gotta say is the guy's got a blade. I think the length of his body, so that's gonna be interesting to see him swing around.
Yeah.
I think those are notoriously hard to use. Kind of like how that Buster sword, people say that's not realistic, but like, do you really care? It's just a giant sword. I mean, seriously, that's really what that is a giant sword. Like, I mean, you really care if it's realistic to swing that around. It just looks cool. Whatever, people gotta pick apart some things because they gotta ruin other people's fun. Yeah, I said it. I'm talking to you. Yeah, you, the one that's pointing at yourself. I swear, somebody actually is pointing at themselves right now. I'm kind of laughing.
Every party needs a pooper,
You did not invite me. That is not how this works. Yeah, that episode ends, and the next episode is gonna be the fight with Shinomori. Cannot wait. A part of me thinks that like Kenshin isn't gonna actually defeat him, but I don't know yet. Cause like honestly, if I'm being real, like the guy doesn't seem all that bad. It's oh, we forgot about Conrio. He's trash. I guess we can just.
What?
I forgot about Conrio. I forgot to talk about Conrio and his conversation with Agumi. Then I said he's trash, and it's kind of moved on.
That's funny.
Didn't Shinomori call him scum or something? I feel like there was a point when he kind of was talking to her, and then he walked off upset because she didn't agree with him to go with him. And then I think we switched back to Shinomori, and I think the word scum just flashed on the screen.
No, what?
But there was a scene in which Kanye was talking to Megumi, and after she told him to go away, when he was walking down the stairs, I feel like we flashed back to Shinomori, and I felt the word scum flashed on the screen.
I never noticed that. I thought you were making that up.
Let me... Where's that scene actually? Making the opium. Or not making the opium. Don't drag me into this. Still making her feel bad. I gotta say this, but she's got some really beautiful eye color. Purple really goes with her. Yeah, like Scum is like on the screen. Like he flashed back to Shinomori and right back to him as he's looking down the stairs, and somebody says Scum. I'm not sure who that is. It sounds like it might be Shinomori that says Scum.
You have a time signature?
Yeah, that's his voice. 1 minute. I say 11:35. I guess this part a good place to start.
Yep. The word scum comes up, but is it?
I think it's him. I think it's him calling Conrio because it's definitely not Conrio's voice. No one else would have seen that conversation that they had. And on top of that, that's definitely not Megumi's voice. That is way too deep. Even if she got angry enough, I don't think her voice could get that deep.
That's interesting.
Like I think he literally calls him scum. Which makes me think it's like a character as like strong as this guy, like maybe they could come to an understanding. I mean, especially if all Shinomori wants to do is just test his strength against Kenshin. Because again, we don't know what he's really working for Conrio for. He always says he doesn't care about he doesn't care for Conrio. He doesn't care for what he doesn't really care or care for what he's doing with the opium. He doesn't really care that much. He feels bad for Megumi, leaves her a suicidal knife in the room. That sounds really bad when I say that out loud, but I mean, that's kind of what he does. Like, none of his actions scream bad guy. It's just like, he's a guy that just is doing something for his own benefit. He's like more of a hired gun type of guy. That's really what he is. Just like, I need you for protection. Did you wear a condom? Like, what the fuck's a condom? Like, you say you wear protection. I was wearing my armor.
4-star. You just totally put in Team 4-star.
Of course I did.
What the fuck's a condom?
I can't even get over that moment.
You didn't wear protection? I was wearing
my armor. Like, that's such an odd-bred thing for him to say, even though Vegeta is the smarter of the two Saiyans.
Or just the fact that he's wearing his armor during sex.
Well, I guess I never thought about that either.
Take it off at that point, dude.
I'm like, because the thing I have to do is like,
you really want to wash the sex off of your battle armor? Like, later on.
I mean, she washed his battle armor.
I know, but you really want to wash the sex off of your battle armor? Just keep it clean. Just take it off, dude.
don't know. Vegeta is Vegeta.
Yeah, completely. So
Okay.
Megumi was locked in there, and Takeda couldn't even get in. And he has a big hissy fit about it. And he calls somebody scum.
I
Maybe
really want to
he's
say the thing that Shinomori calling Conryo scum because it just like flashes shit to him and then back to Conryo. Like I feel like if Conryo was saying scum, it would have stayed on him when he said it. Or maybe Conryo's calling Shinomori scum, but I don't even think he would even give Shinomori a bad look. Cause I feel like he'd be too afraid of him pulling a sword on him. I'm gonna go with I think it's Shinomori calling Conryo scum in his mind. That's what I'm gonna go with. That's just my headcanon. But
yeah, I could see that, just being mad that like he can't get to her. And he doesn't have a key, and he's just having a hissy fit about the whole thing. It's a good thing he couldn't get in there. She had a knife. He didn't know about that again.
no, didn't she say she has her knife in there to him?
I don't think she did. I think she just looked at it and thought about it, but then yelled at him and was like, "You're not gonna get to me," or something brave like that. Why would she tell him she has a knife?
I don't know. Oh, I'm pretty sure that's Shinomori calling Conryo scum, which, you know, hey, that's what he believes. It's so weird. I still I wonder like what Conryo was holding on to, because I still don't know what was in that chest that he was like giving his O face over.
Yeah, we've yet to find that out. Which probably means that Takeda's gonna get through this so that we can. I'm saying Takeda. Should I be saying something else?
Who's Takeda? What?
Conryo.
Oh, Takeda? You talking about Conryo? I've been calling him Conryo.
Yeah, Conryo. I'm sorry. Conryo's probably gonna make it through this situation and escape with his life, so that we can figure out what was in that treasure chest. Because otherwise, we don't really find out what was in there.
I mean, consider this is westernization and this guy has a lot of money. It wouldn't be unimaginable he could buy any type of gun that would have been made by this point, because there would have been a lot of like weapons made by this point in the Western world. I'm not sure how many made it over to the Western world by this point. But... well, maybe we'll find out. Maybe we won't. I guess with that, we can wrap this episode review up. Not much to talk about. It was just 2 straight fights. We learned a little bit about these characters, and now we have the final matchup between Shinomori and Kenshin. Shinomori, Kenshin. Kenshin has got some wounds from his last fight. I was kind of shocked actually, but I guess it wasn't that bad because I mean it was just a shoulder cut, I think. There was some other part of his body that got cut.
You said the blood had already stopped bleeding already, so it was just a very superficial cut.
Like, this is another thing too. Like, I wonder if Kenshin's gonna revert back to being a Batosai during this fight or not, because I mean it's clear that his like real strength is locked behind his mental, his own mental handicapping himself. If he does go back there, he might end up accidentally killing him, so who knows? I guess with that, Shinomori, we'll see what happens there. I'm actually very excited to see that fight. And I guess with that, we will talk to you guys later. See you guys next week. Thank you.
Well, noble ones. Hail to the one in Brazil.
I think it's like MLK weekend, so yeah, it's dead. Nope. Yes, I'm ignoring his calling out the Brazilian because I already called him out once.
Milk weekend, MLK? You mean MILK?
dare you?